What's up, everybody? I'm Betty Garza, your local realtor right here in South Florida. And if you've been thinking about moving or relocating to Port St Lucie here in Florida, you'll definitely want to stay tuned to this video because I'm going to be reviewing the 5 most frequently asked questions about this city, and we're getting at it right now. All right, so I'm going to be talking about the city of Port St Lucie. If Port St Lucie is a city you've been thinking about moving to, relocating to, you want some more information, you'll definitely want to stay tuned to this video. I'm going to be going over the 5 main questions that I get about this city and why people are moving here and what's so special about this city. So let's get into it. Let's start with question number 1, which is, why is everyone moving to Port St Lucie? This is a big deal, especially here locally. I get that question a lot. People that have watched my other videos or have looked into moving to South Florida, the main thing that they notice about Port St Lucie is that the homes still are that affordable price tag on them. So it's the cost of living that is making so many people relocate to the city. From the Northeast, from the West Coast of our country, even to people here that live locally. So cost of living is definitely one of the main reasons that people are attracted to this city. And of course, the weather. The weather in Port St Lucie is amazing. In Palm Beach County, which is a little bit south, about an hour south of Port St Lucie, the weather seems to get a little hotter. Port St Lucie is about midpoint to Orlando, and Orlando, of course, has cooler weather. So Port St Lucie does kind of get that cooler weather when we get into the months of December, January, February. But otherwise, it still has the sunshine of, what Florida is known for. And they have beaches that are not too far from this city so that you can enjoy the beachy weather, the sun, but it still gets very hot in the summer as well. Over 200,000 people call the city of Port St Lucie home, and it's the 3rd largest city in Florida. Okay, so not only people are thinking or asking about Port St Lucie and why is everybody moving there, but what specific area of Port St Lucie are people moving to and seems to be the most interesting part of Port St Lucie, which when I did my research and I was looking it up over and over again, the city of tradition, the part of Port St Lucie, is what continued to come up. Now, there's so much to do in this city and it continues to still be developed and grow, but it is the most popular city or area within Port St Lucie that people are moving to. And the way that they described it was a small town within a town. It's got their own shopping districts, schools, parks that you can go to within this area. So it's overall just a really good neighborhood and town to move when thinking about Port St Lucie. There's over 2,500 homes in this area, over 8,000 acres of land, and about 300 acres is parks, nature walks, things like that you can enjoy the outdoors. And this town includes communities that are 55 and older, luxury homes, so they have something for everyone. Some of the neighborhoods have HOAs so that you pay that small monthly fee, and it includes amenities that you can enjoy, whether it's a pool, a walking trail, different tennis, things like that, where you can enjoy those things within the community and you don't have to leave it to enjoy those kinds of amenities. All right, guys, so if you're finding this information useful and you want to know everything there is to know about eating, sleeping, playing, living, working here in South Florida, definitely you'll want to hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up so that this information can get out to people just like you looking for information just like this. We get phone calls, emails, text messages, reach outs from people all over looking to relocate here to South Florida. Me and my team absolutely love it. We cannot wait to hear from you. We want to help you through this process when relocating to South Florida. There is a link in the description where you can set up a one-on-one with me and let's chit chat about what it is you're looking for. Let's get into the deets about location, type of home, when and where when you're thinking about relocating here to South Florida. All right, so let's get to question number 3. Do hurricanes hit the city of Port St. Lucie? We are located in Florida. Florida is known for hurricanes. Port St. Lucie is the midpoint between Orlando and Miami, and those are two major cities that do get hit by hurricanes. So it is safe to say that if you relocate or live in Port St. Lucie, then you will likely experience a hurricane. The good news about hurricanes, and I know that's kind of hard to believe that there's actually good news about hurricanes, but that is something that you can prepare for. We have a season that when hurricanes are expected, which is between the months of June and November, where, basically you turn on the news in the morning, you watch the Weather Channel, and you're likely going to hear about different storms that are out there. The local news stations really highly, intensely watch and track these storms so that if it does turn into a hurricane or a very, big storm, we get those warnings. The stores know to stock up. They will provide, food and water and things like that to purchase. So we do get a warning where you can prepare for that stuff. We even have a week where hurricane supplies goes on the shelves and it's tax-free. So batteries, any kind of supplies that you need for the hurricane. Generators, you might want to purchase generators. They even have companies that you can have complete house generator set up so that if you do lose power, that generator automatically turns on and gives power to the entire house. So there's different options. There's ways to get through those kinds of storms. So that's why I say there is good news. We do get a warning for those types of things, unlike other parts of the country where, example, an earthquake, you don't necessarily get a warning for that. I've never personally experienced anything like that, so I don't know what they're like, but I honestly would rather not know. And I, of course, as you guys know, a native here to Florida, so I've experienced a lot of different hurricanes and I'm still here. So that's what I mean by good news, is that you do get a warning, you do know when they're coming, and you do have the time to prepare. Okay, so we move on to question number 4. Are the home prices in Port St. Lucie going to drop? So honestly, over the last 5 years, when I went onto Zillow to kind of look at what they have tracked over the last 5 years, prices have, steadily increased in the city of Port St. Lucie. But compared to other areas such as Palm Beach County, the affordability of homes is still lower in Port St. Lucie. And according to Zillow, the average home value is around $385,000. When here in Palm Beach County, it is much higher than that. And remember, Port St. Lucie consists of a lot of single family homes. They have different communities, of course, as I mentioned, with association and amenities available. And then they have a lot of homes that are located on a quarter acre to an acre and a quarter or acre and a half, depending where you're located at in Port St. Lucie, with single family homes, no HOA, a lot of new construction goes on there, and not necessarily just new construction of complete communities, but new construction of, local builders, large company builders, where they build individual homes within neighborhoods that still have vacant lots that were, for sale at one point. They bought it, now they're building a home on it. And, but you don't necessarily have to still be within an HOA. Here in Palm Beach County, you can see that, but it's just not as prevalent as it is in Port St. Lucie. Okay, and then Port St. Lucie, when you see a house on the market, the average days on market or the time that it hits the market and they get a contract on it is average about 26 days. Of course, in the last few years where all the chaos was going on, that was much lower. And now it's a little bit of a normal time of 26 days. Usually that's because I feel like the inventory in Port St. Lucie is a lot higher than it is here in Palm Beach County. And sometimes people price the home a little bit too high and it causes the home to sit on the market a little longer. Or maybe it's one of those new construction homes that they kind of put on the market before it's complete to see if there's people that are interested. And I know that's kind of a hard way to shop for a home without seeing it completely done with walls up, maybe a roof, whatever, depending how early they put it on the market. Some buyers just can't picture that home completed, so they don't really move forward on a home like that. So different scenarios depending on, what it is, will cause days on market to be increased. But right now, the average in Port St. Lucie is 26. And 13.7% of those homes sold just over the list price, and 66.6% of the homes sold under asking price. People are being a little bit more flexible with the prices, or they just kind of realize that maybe they're not going to get that price point and they lower it, within negotiations with the buyer. All right, so I saved the best for last, which is question number 5 that I get a lot from different people, whether they're local or relocating here to Port St. Lucie, is Port St. Lucie a good place to live? So when I did my research and I went on, I get a lot of information from niche.com, and I'll be honest with you, there were a lot of different reviews on there, and I figured, I could read up on different articles and things like that about Port St. Lucie, but when I saw the different reviews in niche.com, I figured that's probably the best information to give, the most honest, is from people that are actually living there or used to live there, and read through their reviews. So there were good and bad. And what I found is that the people that said the good things about Port St. Lucie are the activities, outdoor availability, and areas to do things like kayaking, nature walk, local parks, those kinds of things they talked very highly of. And also the community feel, the people that live there, they described them as very friendly. The community, the friendliness and the relationships that they built there, those kinds of things were all the positive things I heard about Port St. Lucie. And then of course the negatives that they talked about were, and some of them were from people that have lived there a long time. And I've talked about it in other videos, Port St. Lucie is a city that has definitely developed a lot over the last, 5-7 years, where people that were south were kind of moving north, or people that, of course, over the last few years were relocating from other areas, and that was their affordability point. So the complaint was the amount of people that have relocated there and have crowded the streets, such as like traffic. When they go out places, it's just a lot more people present there. So that was the biggest complaint, was the amount of people, and the overcrowdedness of the city was the biggest complaint. And of course, traffic. I've been to Port St. Lucie a lot lately, helping people kind of find homes up there, and there are areas that are still, constructing the streets and doing some changes up there. So I think that causes a lot of traffic as well. So maybe once that's complete, streets and roads will be a little different, a little wider, and more convenient for people to drive around and get around in Port St. Lucie. So can I say, is Port St. Lucie a good area to live in? I can't say yes or no, but I can give that feedback from people that have actually experienced living in Port St. Lucie. So those are the 5 questions that I'm frequently asked when people are thinking about living or moving and relocating to Port St. Lucie. If you have any questions, guys, don't forget the link below. Set up a one-on-one with me. Give me a call, shoot me a text message, send me an email, pigeon carrier, smoke signal, whatever it takes to get a hold of me. Me and my team absolutely love hearing from you guys, and we can't wait to hear from you, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.